Tasmania show. Tasmania show. Tasmania show. Tasmania show.
Tasmanian show.
Tasmanian show.
Tasmanian show.
You already know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Wagwan gang, back in this thing. And if you really gang, bang that like button. If you like the vibe, subscribe. If you don't have good energy, please keep your ass inside. You tune into the Tasmania show with Taz Tikoon, brought to you by Tazzy's Baddies. Today, we back at it again with Harlem's very own Cam versus Jim Jones. At this point, I think that Timbaland and Swiss Beats need equity in verses because every week there is a versus, specifically with Harlem people in particular. So, every time my hood falling off. I'm good in every hood though. Little product placement. Y'all saw what I did there? Yeah. So, like it's been a lot of back and forth for Cam and Jim over the past few months. You always hear different things going on between them two, but it feels like the beef pause has been reignited because recently on the podcast, It Is What It Is, Cam had this to say about the versus battle. So let's check it out.
Can't think enough in no top of my head, but absolutely, 100%. You know, you've been doing this 30 years, so you have to make decisions that's best for yourself. But I can name a lot of decisions that wasn't good because I was trying to be a team player. You know what I'm saying? Like, I told
That's it. Yes, that's a good. Go ahead.
yo, I should have never did the verses. I told you, don't do the verses. I don't want to do the verses, but I'm a team player, and it was the wrong decision that I made. No more of that. No more of that.
Yeah.
No more of that. So
Yo, killer. When I was watching the verses, the only thing I kept thinking, I was like, yo, if you would have done the takeover after Kiss did Who Shot You? It would have been a different day, killer.
Damn, I had a whole freestyle ready and all that, but nigga, listen, man, it's crazy, man. But yeah, I try to be team players a lot of times, and that's the first thing that came to my brain when you said wrong decision.
I ain't gonna hold y'all. If you haven't seen the versus battle and you was under a rock, I think this was COVID, the best versus battle, hands down. I'm not gonna hold you as a huge Dipset fan and also as a huge Jadakiss fan. Let's not get it twisted. Jadakiss is top 5 dead or alive, like one of my top 5 lyricists. Love Jadakiss. I thought about the showmanship, and I'm a huge fan of Styles, the whole LOX, but their camaraderie and their brotherhood is unmatched when it comes to Dipset. Like they move like individuals versus like the LOX move like it's like the Wu-Tang effect, but they still have their different things, but they can always come back together. That's not the case for Dipset, but we're going to get into this clip for those of y'all that never got a chance to check out the versus clip, but we're going to check out this clip right now.
That was the first verses that went the way it went. Usually verses go, you do a song, they do a song. We do a song, they do a song. They just took advantage of opportunity, started ringing off songs back to back to back. Start talking crazy. Juelz said, y'all ain't got no for the that shout to DJ Technician. That throwing the Mariah Carey I said, oh and Jadakiss threw the big shit on.
New York! The X-rays negative. You's a coward. In jail you could never live.
I said, nope, this ain't going right.
Nah, I ain't gonna hold y'all. Like, yeah, Jadakiss, like Smoke in the gym hanging upside down. Like, Jada is definitely a wordsmith. Like, you could tell that he has a lot of respect for the craft. Always loved Jadakiss. Like, him, Styles P, a really, really dope group of lyricists. But even like with Dipset, like I said, I was a huge Dipset fan. Love Juelz, love Jim, love Cam, love everybody, Dipset. It's been unfortunate to see how everything like transpires between them. It's just always something going on. I don't know if anything can ever be reconciled, and I always feel like Juelz is just always kind of floating like in the midst of what's going on. I think the last thing we saw about Juelz is he was talking about not needing to read or whatever the case may be. But we're gonna get into this clip of Juelz talking about his perspective about what happened at the versus battle.
Yeah, versus rematch, man, because
When we talk about the verses was so big and special for hip hop, man. Like that was a beautiful day just for one. You know what I'm saying? And you know, at the end, did it go our way? Maybe not. Didn't fully go our way. I mean, the LOX, they came real prepared, I would say. Me personally, this is my opinion. I felt like we have the music that was stronger.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like they kind of like performed us and outworked us when it comes to like stage presence and
Right.
you know the way they just.
Is that because y'all don't work together like
the way they presented the music?
Because y'all don't do a lot of shows together.
Sheik said it correctly. I would agree with Sheik said. They're a group. They're a group before they're individual artists. We're individual artists before we're a group. Cam is Cam, Juelz is Juelz, Jim is Jim. We came together to form Diplomats because we were so fly.
Juelz has a point. But no one should be bigger than the group. I think it goes back to like basketball, right? For example, like, you know, you have a star athlete on your team, like your Michael Jordan. If y'all have read the 11 Rings book, Phil Jackson talking about how to take the star and being able to put him within the solar system and getting everybody to play around them. Like you have freak stars that it's just like they can run the whole team, but then you might have a solid team, like, you know, the Detroit Pistons, you know what I'm saying? When they have Rasheed Wallace, Rip Hamilton. I'm not trying to go off on a tangent, but the collective that I'm talking about is even like the SGA, OKC. You know what I'm saying? Seeing an individual. So if you have somebody with like the Jay-Z line, if every nigga in your clique is rich, your clique is rugged. No one would fall because everyone would be each other's crutches. Like you think that. And when you look at Dipset, they seem like they came together very strong. They were not a subsidiary, but they were a collective within the Rockefeller collective. You know, and I heard Cam talk about this in the interview, like how he was the, you know, the boss and Jim was the fly person. And then, you know, Juelz having the ladies. It's like when you make a group, you know, you could think about the Jackson 5, you could think about B2K, you could think about, I know that's probably two polar opposites, but like you have a group and then people have, oh, that's my favorite, or I like Raekwon the Chef, or I like Method Man, you like whoever. But again, what ends up happening is that it's like, okay, can you come together as a group, but venture off individually and still come back? I think that's the success of the LOX. Jadakiss could venture off, Styles P could venture off, go do a song with Akon locked up, Sheek Louch could go venture off and do a song and they'll still come back stronger than ever. That's not the case with Dipset. It's like Jim Jones gonna go do ballin' and he gonna come back and be like, you know what, you know, like, and I'm not saying that, but it just seems like they can't get it together. But you know, just speaking about lyricists and just the appreciation for the craftsmanship, the thing I love the most about what Jadakiss did do in the versus battle, because again, this is about Cam versus Jim or whatever. The thing that I loved about the Jadakiss in that battle was his athleticism, like how he took the craft seriously, how he wasn't rapping over his own beats, like over his own voice, like his breath control, his stage presence. So we're gonna get into this clip of Tyler the Creator actually talking about that.
I was in Houston the other day watching the LOX and Dipset, right? And me, I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be cool, but I think Dipset got this, right? Bro, Jadakiss, bro, that man cares. He gives a fuck. Every time he would perform, him and Styles P, it wouldn't be 80 niggas on stage. I just noticed it was like space. He kept making a point to say, hey, we are home. We are in New York where like rap started. We're at Madison Square Garden. We are known. We have a name. We feed our family because we use our voice over instrumentals. We are on a stage right now with the microphone specifically to do that. Why the fuck are y'all niggas rapping over the songs? Bro, when he said that shit, I was like, he cares. He gives a fuck.
He wasn't too cool to care.
He wasn't too cool to care.
Dipset,
you can't be
cool.
too cool, because if you too cool, you gonna freeze to death.
Right.
Niggas.
If you too cool, you gonna freeze to death. Word to Iceman. Yeah, no, he's right about that. Like just doubling down on the statement that I made about, you could tell that he cares, rapping over instrumentals. You know, I remember when I saw Jill Scott perform at the Rose Bowl, I believe, and she was just talking about, y'all hear that in the background? She was like, that's a real band. It ain't no beat. You know, like people come to see a show, and she had made it a point that if y'all wanted to hear my album, you could go home and press play on that album. So, you know, this is like a testament to, you know, to artists, because it's, again, if the LOX and they've been eldersmen, you know, Mount Rushmore in hip hop for a very long time, they're not rapping over their tracks, but our generation is crazy. Yeah, super crazy. I was trying to find, so what ended up happening in regards to the post, there was a post that went up, Jim Jones posted, and says, tell your mans I want to do a versus against him since he made us lose our last verses at the Apollo. Y'all call Swiss, LOL, happy Memorial Day, LOL. Smoke ain't your thing, we all know that, so let's settle this like this. And Cam went and responded, you know, that he got his post notifications on. I don't know what it is, you know, like it seems like every time Cam says something, it gets back to Jimmy. It gets back to Jim Capo. Like he's it never fails. Something comes up, and I'm not like, I don't know. The last thing that I think we saw, they said that he wasn't paying his heat bill, but with the Let's Rap About It podcast, it's still hot. They're doing their thing and all of that good stuff. But we're gonna get to another clip right now of Juelz talking about the Dipset versus LOX.
The LOX is a group. Diplomats is not a group. They've been performing as a group their whole life, like as a group. And they were in tune as one.
Yeah. That's
You
what it
understand
looked
what I'm
like.
saying?
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Then once shit started going left, our DJ was supposed to know. I felt like, I'm not gonna say no name. Like when I said to Jadakiss, right? I said, oh, y'all ain't got no girl records. He said, Tech, play a melody of my girl shit. And he just went into all his girl shit, back to back. Mariah Carey shit, this shit, that shit, bow, bow. Jada was saying the right shit at the right time, too. And Jada got a lot of records on a lot of big records that are not his, that people forget, too. So not only are you battling against Jadakiss, you battling against, it might be a Biggie record that's a #1 record that Jada had a verse on. Benjamins, come on, you understand? That's not a LOX record. Like, like certain records, it's like, these niggas is coming in, you can't really, it's like, we are going against #1 hits constantly back to back. Jada knew how to take control over the show. And one thing I noticed he didn't do, that he did, when he was with Fab, he was drunk. He was drunk out of his mind. When he was with us, he was not drunk.
Yeah, I hear you, Juelz. At the end of the day, you know, it's if you want peace, prepare for war. You got to be battle tested. There's battles and there's wars. You know what I'm saying? I think collectively we thought about the impact of the Dipset culture. Don't get it twisted. Heavy Diplomat fan, heavy mixtape fan. Love Dipset. Definitely can say that but I also grew up on the LOX as well. And just hearing him say, well, you know, Jadakiss was drunk when he did the one with Fab, and I remember watching an interview, and that's when he launched his coffee brand, if I'm not mistaken, Kiss Cafe, with his son, JC. I don't know. You know what? No, I'm not gonna mess up his name. With his son, and his father, they have a coffee company, and I think that after he had saw that and he had went viral for being drunk, he was even more intentional. So yes, where you know, Juelz is talking about, like, that's one of the things to their advantage. Either way, you could tell that they prepared. You know, like, it doesn't even look like Dipset came together, but 10 minutes before, they probably got on FaceTime, didn't do it. Like, it just looked like they were just really, really, really sharp. But now we're going to get into a clip right now of Jim Jones talking about his experience with Swiss Beats and the Versus battle and his perspective.
Talk about the backdooring that's going on for the Versus. Everybody keep keying, but I wanted the bag, you heard? But we got the bag. But boy still went back door, like, yo, for me to do the Versus, you got to give me part of this business. That had nothing to do with us. You heard? But he would say, that's me being a businessman. Nah, that's you being a sucker doing backdoor shit. You heard? But nobody want to talk about that. I know.
We didn't know. Yeah,
I ain't no backdoor ass nigga. You heard? I stand on 10 toes and I break bread with my niggas. Period. That's always who I've been. Do I not? You heard, it's never been an artist that took advantage of. You heard, I really put money in all of my artists' pockets that I deal with, and all my niggas, we get money together. I'm not one of them type of dudes, bro. You heard?
When you went to Cam about that, he said that, like, it's just me being a businessman?
No, Swiss told me. I had to tell Swiss I know what was going on, Jack. You call Swiss on the line, he tell you. I did bad, you know. Swiss my brother, zone. What's up, Zah? You heard? So I'm not talking about, I'm talking about actual factual.
How did you find out about it then?
Because I found out about a lot. You heard? That don't matter. What it matter is I got to the bottom of it to see if it was.
So y'all can hear it right there. Jim, he does sound a little bit upset about whatever business has transpired. I think on Talk with Flea, I heard Cam talk about they had another opportunity to get way more money on an international tour or something else. But Jim wanted to do the Versus battle. You know, it's for the culture. It seemed like it was a little bit more relevant. So now the whole issue is that now the beef pause has been reignited and Jim wants Versus Cam. I think we just saw Tank and Tyrese. I think we saw Cash Money and No Limit a couple months ago. I don't really know how the Versus is going these days, but y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do y'all really want to see an official Jim Jones versus Cam battling? Who y'all got? Team Dipset. Y'all going Team Cam? Y'all going Team Jim? Y'all got to let me know. If you really gang, bang that like button. And if you like the vibe, subscribe. If you don't have good energy, keep your ass inside. You're tuning into the Tasmania Show with Taz Tikoon, brought to you by Tazzy's Baddies. Let's go.
Tikoon running up the score, Tazzy's Baddies on the floor. And that ass is super fatty, call me Zaddy, throw some more. Super nasty, she a savage, slaughter fucker like a whore. Popping bottles, foreign models, Tikoon on the world tour. Shorty, what you bad for? Turn this to a hit-a-thon, damn, all your bitches bad, tell them they can come along.